All right, welcome back to West Coast Goalies. It is the start of a new week. It's Monday, and we're pretty late in the day already. It's 6:45 p.m., and I've been busy all day doing stuff. But now I think we have a minute to do a few things for the fish. This is going to be kind of an interesting week because I'm going to be gone on a hike Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm going to need to do there's a few things I want to get done today and tomorrow to make sure that the fish are good the 3 days I'm gone. I'm not worried about the fish when I'm gone. 3 days is not enough to worry about a water change. And 3 days is not even enough to worry about feeding them because they eat all the duckweed in their tanks. So they're totally fine when I leave. But I want to put an air stone in that sponge filter, check out the other sponge filter, and I do want to do some water changes just in case. They don't even need water changes, but I want it to be fresh up on the water changes for when I'm gone, just so that there's no chance of anything happen. And the first episode of this series came out yesterday, and I realized something. It took a long time to edit, but I realized I can only fit in 5 minutes per day, right? Because 5 minutes a day for a 7-day week adds up to a 35-minute video. I really don't want to go much longer than 40 minutes for each one of these videos. And so filming a little bit every day seems like a lot, but 5 minutes a day is really not that much. So I think, I don't know, I'm just excited that maybe these videos will be more interesting than I first anticipated because it'll be such small glimpses from each day. But I think what I'll do is I'll do a combo. I'm going to be productive and do two things at once. I'm going to drain a tank for a water change while I check out that sponge filter, put an air stone in it. But first things first, gotta give these guys some JY Aquarium pellets. Bingo. Mrs. Tomato's gonna go right for them. Good job. Unnamed guy here. This is gonna take forever to notice, as he always does. Well, Mrs. Tomato is enjoying that. Okay, we're gonna keep this simple. We're gonna put an air stone in the center of this. Man, first off, it really collects a lot of, that sponge is working well. So to do that, let's make sure we got this right here. I want the air stone to be at the bottom. I'm going to trim out the little middle divider thingies on this. Now, I'm sure there's another way to do this too. This is the way I know how to do it, and I like doing it. Air stone goes in the bottom. Tube is on there. Okay. So that stays sitting at the bottom. Next piece also trims out. Okay, so we trim out the center spokes, whatever they're called. Bingo. Okay, so the air stone can sit at the bottom. Next piece fits on. Okay, see the air stone is inside now. And then we trim this. So we basically are just coring out the middle so that the air stone fits down at the bottom, and then this can work just like before, but it's an air stone instead at the bottom, instead of just straight bubbling. Okay, and we're all done with that, and now it has more fine bubbles. We'll see how loud it is comparatively after the tank's filled back up for the water change. And we're going to take a little look at my Quanvi moving media filter to see if there's something making this not flow as optimally as we want. Oh, you know what? Well, that's, first off, there's a bunch of duckweed inside from last time all the pieces got loose. I accidentally dropped some duckweed in there. Maybe that's slowing down the flow. I think I'm going to scrub the air stone a little bit to see if freshening that up lets the air move through a little more forcefully. And I believe the air stone actually comes out. If we take this out, and this comes straight down if I remember right. Yeah, it does. So I think the problem's on our air stone. I don't know where else it would be. So I'm gonna give this thing a good wash. Okay, so I cleaned the sponge. I scrubbed the air stone with hot water and a scrub brush. So we're gonna put this back together and see if over the next week we have any improvement as far as filtration with this. This is by far my least favorite part about these moving media filters is collecting, if anything gets in mixed in with the media, or I've actually had the top fall off of this in the tank and I've had to collect all these out of the tank. That's kind of a nightmare. But I really think our flow problem was due to duckweed because I just cleaned it out a little more. I found some more crevices where duckweed was shoved in, and I think it was reducing the flow. So I'm really excited to see. I think it really explains why this tank has been so cloudy. So I'm excited to see what difference this makes. Okay, we're filling that tank back up for them. Gonna scrub the glass a little bit, and then I think we'll do some siphoning in here. Okay, just wrapping up. Finish the water change on the bottom right tank. Blubbles and breadstick tank is about halfway done filling. And then I might do a little more siphoning in Sesame's tank, and then we're gonna call it for today. Tomorrow, the day before my hike, Tuesday, I am just hoping to clean out the pond a little bit to get it ready for being gone, because this should take care of them for when I'm gone. But I neglected to get all those pine needles out of the pond like I wanted to last week. So that's planned for tomorrow. Let's see if I do it. All right, it's what day is it? It's Tuesday. I figure I will do some scooping of the pine needles out of the main pond. And the water right now, 51 degrees Fahrenheit in the water. It's pretty cold, but you'll see the fish move around pretty well. I don't feed them when it's this cold. They can just eat. I have some Java moss growing. They can eat algae. I don't feed them till it's in the high 50s usually. I have read a bit about feeding wheat germ in the low 50s, I believe, high 40s, that they can still digest it rather easy, and it's something for them to eat. But I gotta read a bit more about it before I try it out. I'll try it soon. Okay, that's about all the pine needle scooping I'm doing today. Just my fingertips even are pretty cold from dipping into the water. Man, I know it looks messy back there. I'm always looking for different ways to hide all that stuff. It's extra, yard work tools and stuff that I can't really put anywhere else. I have a few privacy screens that are pretty nice, like bamboo ones and stuff. But, during the wintertime, I don't want to ruin them by putting them up. So we'll see. Eventually, I really want to make this an actual nice shot to look at with no view marred by random buckets and rototiller and stuff. I think now I'm going to clean out the 2 filters for this pond. This is pretty much the best way I've found to clean my main pond filter with the pump in the center, because it's a pump box with a bunch of holes in the sides. So I like dipping it in water. Because not that it's too difficult to open up the box and really clean out all the pieces, but it's like a jigsaw puzzle, taking everything out, putting it back in again. This is just a quick way to give it not a thorough cleaning, but a good rinse in some pond water. Okay. With that, both the filters are clean. Good morning. It is Wednesday. I'm going to head out for my hike very soon, but I wanted to give a quick update. The bottom right tank, Mrs. Tomato's tank, it is exceptionally clear with that new filter. Like, I'm really amazed at how clear it is. So I don't know if that moving media filter maybe doesn't work as well as I thought it did, or if it's just getting old. I've been using it for a couple of years already. Maybe it's wearing out.
But that tiny new little sponge filter made a really, really big difference. So I'm gonna give them all a little snack to eat, and then I'm gonna head out.
Okay, it's Friday. I have returned from my little hike, and the goldfish all seem to be doing just fine. You'll notice I got a new little tool for helping film these. I got one of those cool swiveling tripods, so uh, we'll see. I mean, it seems pretty sweet so far. I can just kind of do my thing and not worry about where it's pointed. But if you hate, if it makes you motion sick, drop it in the comments. Let me know, and I'll stop using it. Okay. On my little hike, I brought a book in case there was downtime. I brought Kinyo, The Artistry of Japanese Goldfish, because I collect some goldfish books, always trying to read up, learn more, and I should have skimmed ahead because it's not a bad thing, but I didn't realize that this book is mostly pictures of goldfish, mostly just tons of pictures, which is cool. But in the downtime I had, I read the little there is to read very, very quickly. And then I was kind of a little sad I didn't have another goldfish book to read the rest of the time. So, I mean, I guess I should have known, but note to self, skim the book you're going to bring on a trip to make sure there's actually something to read and not just pictures. I did especially appreciate the pictures of and information about Izumo nankins, because this is the type of goldfish that I am drawn towards breeding soon, if I can. The problem is that only one person in the US that I know of breeds them, and that's Zhao's Fancies. They sell fancy goldfish online. They breed Izumo nankins. That's cool. I'm down to get some from them. But I'd also really, really, really like to get some directly from Japan to breed with the ones from Zhao's Fancies, just for like fresh blood, fresh genetics. I feel like using those two bloodlines can be a fresh start for a new generation for me to work on. But right now, I don't know anyone that exports Izumo nankins to the US. You'll also notice my wife got me a really, really cool macrame fabric jellyfish. So that thing is pretty sweet. So these fish haven't gotten solid pellets since I left, which was, Tuesday morning or something. So they should enjoy this. Give them a little treat. And as far as our new sponge filter right here, it seems to be working really well. Normally with just the Quan V filter on the right, it would be really, really cloudy already. It is time for a water change again already because they've been munching on the duckweed, making a lot of waste. But wow, looks much, much better than before putting that extra sponge filter in. Welcome back. It's Saturday, and it's pretty late in the day already. We're at like 5 p.m. I'm going to do some water changes, and then we'll do a little bit something different. A friend of mine was getting rid of some of their freshwater aquariums, and so I got a few plants, but they also gave me a few pieces of driftwood. Now, of course, I trust their tank because it's someone I know, but I'm gonna boil the driftwood before I use it. That's just for me to make sure it's sanitized, not introducing extra new bacteria to whatever tank I put it in. And also, I'm not going for tannin tanks. I'm not going for that brown tinge on any of the tanks. And so any extra tannins I can boil out of the driftwood before I put it in the tank, I'm gonna be happy with, so. Good morning. It is Sunday, and we have a moderately nice morning here. So I'm going to do the dumb thing and take this opportunity to scrub some of the outside acrylic on this tank. Even though it is currently 49 Fahrenheit in the water, people that live in colder areas are probably going to say, oh, 49 Fahrenheit, that's not that cold for the water. But for me, I mean, I would never, what part of my day involves putting my hand in that cold of water besides this? I should be used to it, honestly. Okay, you're right. I should be used to it, but I'm not. With my acrylic tank, I have to use a melamine sponge because otherwise pretty much anything else will scratch the acrylic. And I mean, this one's already super scratched anyways, but may as well not scratch it any more than it already is. So I'm gonna start right here. I really don't want to do this. You know, having, oh, it's not too bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not, it's bad. Having a pond like this cold, you know, would be really great for those people that are super into ice baths. Oh man, oh man, oh. Yeah, the people that do those ice baths they're laughing at me right now. It's like a full arm cramp. That's what it feels like. Man, it's bad. If I ever wanted to, this would be perfect for ice baths, but I'm not really into that. It would probably be good for me, honestly. But if putting this much in my arm gives me this terrible of a reaction, I don't think putting my whole body in, I mean, it would be good for me, just mentally, probably, to get used to it. But I'm not doing it. I'm gonna switch arms here. Oh yeah. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm hoping saying it's not too bad makes it not too bad. But it's, oh man. Oh man. Ooh, I'm almost done. I mean, just this front of the half, and I'm good. But I might want to do some siphoning in here too, because their poop builds up behind the Java moss that's in there right there. What's worse, to do it all at once and get it over with, or to warm up in between? I'm on team warm up in between because, man, that hurts. I'm also working on making this view not so ugly. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff over there I can't move, but I have some cool privacy screens. I have a lot of potted plants I'm working on putting in the right place. I'm trying to burn through my pile of wood here in my campfire to make that look just a little better. But it's always going to look a little weird in the wintertime because all the plants are going to be bare. You know, my water celery is dying. My mint is dying. The ivy over there is doing okay, but in the summertime, when everything comes back, I feel like my potted plants and the divider thing are gonna make this look. I want it to look more serene. I want it to feel immersive, like this is a secret garden with a pond. And so I'm probably gonna work on getting nice, tall potted plants to make kind of like a perimeter all around this, so that it feels enclosed, like secret garden, like I said. All right, I'm recovered enough. We're gonna go for the last stretch here. Oh, look at that. The temperature just dropped a degree somehow. 48 now. And when it's this cold, I don't feed the goldfish because their metabolism slows way down and they don't really digest food much in the wintertime. If they get really hungry, they can eat some algae and some of the Java moss because it's growing. But sometimes in the afternoon sun, the tank warms up enough, maybe in the 50s Fahrenheit. I occasionally will give them some of the gas release Kenta formula pellets, just because they have a lot of easy to digest stuff in them, and so they're not like super high protein, so they're easy for the goldfish to digest. They can have it when it's a little colder, but definitely under 50 Fahrenheit. I don't feed nothing. But afternoon sun, I would probably want it to get to at least 55 before I sprinkle a few things in. Otherwise, they're fine. That's that. I'm done. I'm done. Got my acrylic pieces to cover the top of the tank. I put these on over the access holes, and I put the light on top of it so that if a critter came around and really wanted to get to my goldfish, it would at least have to do a little work first. But you know what? Nothing has bothered my goldfish yet. The only things I've had is 2 birds have, I mean, they were both like a couple years apart. One bird hit the window and fell in the tank, and one bird just I found dead over here. I don't know what happened. I've seen raccoons and cats, but they leave my goldfish alone. So far so good. I put the light on top so that if they really want in, they have to work a little first. All right, and now that my boiled driftwood has cooled down, we're gonna just drop these pieces in. I might have said it before. I am not like a great aquascaper yet. Uh, Not that I assume I will be, but I'd like to attempt to get better at it. Because right now my style is just kind of chaotic. No real rhyme or reason to what I do. I just kind of arrange things and give it a good shot. This is my shrimp guppy tank, in case you forgot. But recently, the guppy population had a huge dip because my auto feeder stopped working, and I still haven't figured out what's wrong with it. I mean, I got it used anyways. I got it secondhand. It still has the numbers on the front, but I don't know if I just need to set it again or what. That was way too much. The snails will clean it up. I don't know if I need to buy a new one or reset it, but I really need to get the auto feeder working on this again because it works. I mean, I want the shrimp and snail and guppy population to grow, and it's just kind of maintaining with me not feeding the tank as regularly as I should. So that's probably a goal for next week, is to work out the auto feeder, and I'd love to go to the fish store just to look around next week. And I still am having problems with that moving media filter over there. So I need to take that apart and look at it. Or it might be the airline is turned down for that one instead of the other filter. So I need to check it out one way or another. But I am actually taking steps to become a better aquascaper. I just found someone suggested the Green Aqua, I think is the channel name. They have a playlist that's like a master aquascaping class, and I started watching that, and it's very helpful already. So I really want this to be my experimental tank when it comes to getting better at aquascaping, because my main fish is goldfish, so I don't want to disturb their tanks so frequently. But the guppies and shrimp and snails in here, I don't mind mixing up the arrangements in here as I learn things and want to experiment with what looks good. So, and as always, I watch that series on 1.5 speed, because some of those episodes are long, like an hour and a half and stuff. But in the part I've watched so far, they talk about there's like 2 ends of the spectrum when it comes to aquascaping. There's Zen, and then there is oh man, I don't even remember anymore. But basically, like more chaotic. And I think the style I need to not perfect but work towards is Zen, just because with goldfish, usually you want simple decorations that they can't get stuck in or hurt themselves on generally. And so I feel like Zen style aquascaping lends itself a little better to goldfish. I've also been dosing Sesame's tank with Grainwater Labs algae reducer. They're not really a sponsor, but they sent me some for free to try out. Algae control, and it's I do think it is helping moderately. I don't think it's a really significant difference. I find the dosing to be kind of funny because the dosing is like a super wide range. The dosing instructions are, let me read it here. Add 3 to 6 capfuls weekly for every 10 gallons of your tank. So that's a lot of this product, but it's also like a big margin for error. So I don't know what the difference is there, but I did hear that they are in Seattle, which is where I am. And so I was thinking of it would be cool to ask them to like tour their facilities and see what they got going on, see how they make it and what success they've had. But that's probably all I'll get to do with these tanks today. I might do a little extra siphoning just to get some of the extra poop, maybe from Sesame's tank, building up a little bit. So I think for now, this is see you next week.